Hello everyone, I'm Morgan, and today I wanted to talk to you about 5 books I've read recently. So as usual, I'm going to go from the one I like the least to the one I like the most. So the one I like the least this time is Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. This one I did actually give 3 stars, so I didn't have terrible books lately, so that's a good thing. But I didn't love it either. It was one of those books that I've been wanting to read for a while because a lot of people have been talking about these books in the last few years. And I'm glad I read it. It was a fun ride. Basically, this book follows a girl whose parents are having troubles, I guess. Her mother is thought to be crazy and no one really knows what goes on with her. At the beginning of the book, our main character decides that she wants to go to Antarctica and she convinces her 2 parents to go. And it's all about going there and the journey for her mother to prepare for this trip. And the mother finds an assistant through the internet that works in India, and she gives all her information to that person, and this assistant just books everything for her all the time, the restaurants, just basically an assistant. And she's never met that person, she just writes letters, well, emails. And the book is all told through emails and other clippings, and it makes sense towards the end why that is. But I do like this way of telling a story. I like mixed media, so that was nice. But in the end, this book was a bit weird because it deals with mental health in a very weird way, and I'm not sure I enjoyed that. It's like, I don't want to spoil you, but basically they're trying to say that she has a mental health problem while she says that she doesn't, the mother. And in the end, I don't know, it uses mental health as a plot point, and it's really weird and not told well. But the story in itself, I did really enjoy it, and I like that it talked about Antarctica a lot, and I learned some info about Antarctica, which was nice because they start planning this cruise to Antarctica, and it's a lot of fun. It's also very emotional, which was nice, and it's very fast paced, which is nice sometimes. So I read this book pretty quickly, but it didn't stay with me so much, so yeah. The second book I want to talk about is The Pale Dreamer by Samantha Shannon. This is a novella that is set before the Bone Season series, and it features our main character in the Bone Season series, Paige Mahoney, the first time she meets Jackson, and so it's nice to see their meet, but also it's not that great in itself. As a novella, like, there's not a lot happening. It's just, I really liked it, as I said, because I love the Bone Season series, and getting to see a bit more of the behind the scenes is nice. But other than that, the story in itself wasn't anything amazing. It was fine, but if you don't care about the Bone Season series, it doesn't really stand on itself, so I don't know. The third book I wanted to mention is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and I did really enjoy this one. I didn't really know a lot about the myth of Achilles and Patroclus before reading this, so I cannot really talk to that extent, but I did enjoy this as a story just in general. I really enjoyed the main character, Patroclus, and I thought, again, this was very emotional, which is something that I like, so this was really nice. And I don't know, it was just, I wasn't bored at all. In the end, not that many things didn't happen in this book, which is something that I don't mind that much, so it's fine. But I don't know, I don't really know how to explain why I like this book so much, but I really did. I listened to this one audiobook and I would recommend it. The narrator, I think his name is Fraser Douglas, and he's just really good. So that was also part of my enjoyment, but it was just sweet to see how they tried to stay together, Achilles and Patroclus, though a lot of people were against them, and, well, not really, but mostly his mother, Achilles' mother, and she's a goddess, so obviously it was hard for them. And I like some of the fight scenes also. It was just, yeah, it was nice. Next is The Sellout by Beatty, and this is another book that I listened to on audiobook, and I would recommend the audiobook. It was really good because this book actually follows a main character who is black and very funny, and the narrator who narrates this audiobook is also a black man, clearly, and you can hear his accent, and it's just really cool. The way he talks is just exactly like I would imagine this main character would. So that was really nice. We follow this man in this city called Dickens that everyone has forgotten, and he wants to bring back his city, basically. And he also talks a lot about how he grew up, about his family, and we get some flashbacks where his father was still alive because he actually died a few years before he was writing this, I guess. And so he talks about his father and how it was growing up with him because his father was a psychologist, and he was basically doing experiments with him, using him as a lab rat, I guess. And it was a bit weird, but also really funny. And actually, in this book, so our main character tries to bring back racism and segregation to help black people, and obviously some people don't like that at all. They're like, what are you doing? But he really believes in his idea, and he just continues on with it, and it works in some way, and it's really funny, and it's the kind of thing that I really like. But again, I'm not sure why, but it's totally my thing. And I thought it was really funny and sweet in some way. I mean, he also tries to help some other people in his city because his father was called the nigger whisperer, and he wants to become the new nigger whisperer because sometimes actually the police calls him to talk to black people to make them stop stuff, I guess. And so he's trying to help them, and so lots of people know him and used to know his father, so he's a big figure. And there are just some other side characters which are really fun, and yeah, it's just a nice little book. And the last book I want to talk about is Faking Normal by Courtney C. Stevens. This is one of the first books that I read for my challenge of reading authors that I gave 5 stars to last year. And I will say this one was also amazing. I gave it 4.5 stars. This follows a girl who is in high school, and she was raped. I mean, she doesn't use the word until pretty much the end, but she does talk about it, and she struggles to talk about it really in the beginning of the book. And it's also about another character in the book, Beatty, who has just lost his mother. His father killed his mother, and he saw everything, so it's this huge story, and he comes to live with our main character, and they start a friendship, and just so sweet because they're both suffering so much, but they understand each other and they support each other, and it's beautiful. And I love this book so much. It was just amazing. I mean, it's not perfect really, and there is a character that I really did not like, her sister, the main character. I don't remember her name anymore. I'm bad with names, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was beautiful, and I love to see how they grew together and try to help each other. It's really nice to see, and yeah, I really, really liked it. It was great. As I just didn't like the sister, but it's not too important. She also had some friends who were really great, and her parents tried to help her, but they didn't know a lot, and it's about her trying to find the courage to tell everyone about what happened to her, and just coming to terms with it. And it's really good, and I would recommend. And I'm actually surprised that I haven't heard anyone talk about this book before, because I thought it was so good. So if you like hard-hitting contemporary, well, I don't know if it's exactly hard-hitting. I mean, the topic isn't exactly like so fun and stuff, but it's still pretty heartwarming, I would say. So I don't know if you care. I thought it was really great, and I will be reading some more books by Courtney Stevens, as is my challenge, and see how many books I can get through that I love. So we'll see. But that's all for me. Thank you for watching. Please tell me if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them, or if you want to read them now after hearing me talk about them, as I would love to know. But that's all for me. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye. Dream I know, deep up my feelings feel